We'll now try the most unusual of all the skirmishes. Welcome, this is Pineleaf Needle, Skirmisher of Middle-earth. Today we're going to take a look at Survival Barrow Downs. This skirmish is so unusual that it does not pop up randomly. You will not find it on the Advanced tab, but only on the Specific tab. You have to select for it under Survival Skirmishes, Survival Barrow Downs. It is currently the only survival skirmish. Now this skirmish has several different things that work differently from others. First off, it has no solo or duo setting. You could attempt to run one of these settings 3, 6, or 12 solo, but you're not going to last very long. We'll now enter the skirmish and head on our way.
Those who have long haunted the Barrow Downs at the command of the Witch King are angered by your intrusion. Surviving is the least of your newfound concerns.
Now you'll see these new quests come up, these phase quests. These are daily quests. Survival Barrow Downs is the only skirmish that still has daily quests remaining. There are 6 of these, each for 5 minutes that you last in the skirmish. Therefore, if you complete all 6 of the dailies, you'll have 30 minutes into the skirmish. The maximum time in the skirmish is 1 hour though. You will get marks for hitting each 2.5 minute time point, and you'll get additional marks for completing the dailies. Now this is not where we run the skirmish. We have to exit this, and we're now in the Dead Spire. And this is where we'll run our skirmish after we talk to this shade here. Now I'll be summoning my soldier. Now, how well did I trait my soldier? Now my soldier's not quite traded for level 45 yet, but for demonstration purposes this should be fine, since no matter what I do, I'm not going to last very long. Now, in order to maximize survivability, I will probably try a little food here to improve my vitality. I'll have a little soup here. Well, diseases. We'll try diseases. Probably would have preferred fear if I had any of that soup on me. And I could use some superior limbas. Not that it's likely going to help me all that much. Now, it used to be possible to kite just about the entire skirmish. And you could solo even the raid version for half an hour. But just by running around, at least on a warden. Now, Turbine didn't like that particularly much. I better save my soldier from getting killed. So therefore, Turbine changed it so that it's harder and harder to use his kite strategy. Now you start out with 2 opponents. 30 seconds after you kill an opponent, it will be replaced by another one. So therefore you are continually in combat unless you manage to kill them both. Less than 30 seconds apart. Every 2.5 minutes, one opponent will be added. So therefore, after 2.5 minutes, we will have 3 opponents, each being replaced. After 4 minutes, you then have 4 opponents, 4 trash mobs, plus a lieutenant. It becomes tougher and tougher and tougher as you go along. As you can see here, now I'm fighting an elite. It's randomly chosen whether your opponent is elite or signature. And that's what also helps make things a little bit tougher. Because when you have the elites, you're obviously not going to be able to easily get through them. And some of the mobs are tougher than some of the others. For example, fire grims are notoriously tough, especially the fire grims. And as you can see, my soldier got killed there, and unless I really wanted to waste a in-combat soldier summoning manual, I'm not going to get my soldier back unless I manage to kill everybody at the same time. And since we just hit the 2.5 minute point, I got a couple of marks, and more importantly, a third mob is coming in. And it's a fire grim. And a fire grim, of course, has that searing heat thing that does damage to me very quickly, but of course, my ability to hit things is reduced by the light grim. And I lasted just a little bit more than 2.5 minutes, which in this skirmish isn't really all that bad, especially considering I'm fighting this at level 45, and the 40s tend to be one of the tougher ranges. Now, I don't have my legendary items yet, since I'm shooting this before I go on that quest, since I want to do all the side quests when getting my legendary item, and I feel like waiting a few levels for that, which I think is fine for my everyday questing, but it's not going to be fine for doing something like Survival Barrow Downs. And that can be a very short skirmish if you're not all that prepared for it. Now, if you're in a small fellowship who's very well prepared for it, has proper healers for it, can keep everybody alive, can debuff the enemy, then you should be able to get through a couple of the dailies before getting defeated. It used to be that a lot of players were expecting to be able to complete the skirmish, at least reach the 30-minute point, or even complete it, and complained when Turbine made it tougher. But I think that Turbine made it tougher because the entire point of Survival Barrow Downs is to last as long as possible. And if a typical group can go in and complete the skirmish all the way through the full hour, then it defeats the purpose of getting a little bit longer next time, getting a little bit longer next time. Now, Turbine did not reduce the rewards on it when they reduced the rewards on everything else. And that's what balances out the fact that the skirmish is now tougher than it used to be in the past. Now, this concludes the first season of Skirmisher of Middle-earth, where I went through the tutorials, the free skirmishes, and the paid skirmishes. In the second season, I'll be going through the epic skirmishes, those that are tied in with Moria, those tied in with Mirkwood, and the one that's tied in with Volume 3. I plan to start the next season on January 1st. This way I'll have time in which to complete the various quests I still have in Eriador, and then get through enough of Moria so that I will be able to unlock the skirmishes. But until then, this is Pine Leaf Needles. May your shield protect you, and your spear never break.